Can you take us inside what this last week has been like for you, not just onboarding into this roster as you had the last couple weeks, but preparing to get the start at right guard?
It wasn't too much of a change. Everybody's very accepting, informative when I ask questions. So I get a lot of information before this even happened. So when they put me in my spot, it really wasn't too much like a uprooting type thing. It was just plug and play type thing.
When Matthew Stafford gets the hip injury, is there at all? I mean, obviously he's going to push through it and everything, but among the linemen themselves, is there any sort of conversation that happens or acknowledgement, extra awareness of kind of what he's dealing with back there?
I think we all just put it on ourselves that we need a little extra push at the end of plays just to make sure people don't touch him and stuff like that. But we kind of expect him to be that guy that's gonna grit through it. So it's the least we can do is to keep him up.
Even at the end of the game, after Puka caught the touchdown, the overtime winner, it looked like on the broadcast, it looked like Rob Havenstein went directly to Stafford to make sure nobody was like piling on him to celebrate. Is
Yeah,
that a very typical lineman thing too?
I feel like him and Stafford, Rob and Stafford, they're really close. Those guys being the leaders of the group, and him being here for Rob being here for 9 years. He knows what it takes to keep a good quarterback. And he just wants to do as much as he can to keep that quarterback up.
Thanks, Kevin.
Adam.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for doing this today.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, for someone who joins the team so late in the preseason and you've missed all of that like core install that happens during OTAs and training camp and the first couple weeks of preseason, what has been your process of learning this offense like kind of on the fly so that you are ready for this coming week or this last week?
My coaches always took me in after practices and games and stuff like that, just to get extra film work, me studying on my own, just trying to get the feel for how Rob plays, how the center plays, how the other guard plays, how everybody plays, and just how Matthew would like the calls to be called and his tempo, and it just takes a lot of extra work, and they've definitely helped me in that extra work.
At what point did you feel comfortable, like you were ready for a game situation?
Right before the game started. felt good. I felt prepared. So, I knew everything that I was supposed to know play wise. And, you just kind of lock in when the game time comes and feel great after the first play is over with, kind of get that first hit out the way. And it just, slows your heartbeat a little bit.
Got it. Thanks, Kevin.
Gary?
Yes. How would you kind of assess how you played, how things went for you in that first game, that first start?
I think I did pretty good overall. Definitely things to improve on, but I think I'll improve over, just being able to see myself play and, getting more and more comfortable with the playbook. Mm-hmm. I think those are things that once I get into that, I'll be really, really well off.
Mm-hmm. And you guys did a pretty good job as a line, creating space for your running back. You guys rushed for a season best for the Rams. What was that kind of vibe like as you guys were kind of, establishing a run game?
As an offensive lineman, man, being able to run the ball, and we knew we would be able to run the ball the whole game. So, you got to take advantage of the opportunity, because those really the times that, as offensive lineman, you get little praise, if any. So in the run game, you get to show yourself. If you open a lane, that might be the time you get circled in the broadcast. Look at what Kevin Dotson did. So I'm going to take advantage of that every time I get a chance.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, everyone, I guess, every player would like to be part of a win, but to be, for your first game where you're active and playing, for it to kind of play out the way it did, what was kind of your reaction in the immediate aftermath of you guys winning that game?
Yeah, I felt like it was might have been the best test for me. Being able to go out there and fight through adversity, really go through every range of emotion of like, oh, we're gonna beat them bad, then to be like, okay, the momentum is kind of slipping. Okay, we might have to go to overtime, and then winning overtime back into that high emotional state. I think that was a great starting point for me, just to kind of get my nerves, I guess, back working into that stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Stu?
Hey, Kevin, as you're learning this offense, what's the most challenging thing to get down or learn, I guess, specific to offensive line play, especially?
I say for me, being the right guard, I have to do a lot of the turn around and look at what the quarterback is doing, or tempo of the play, stuff like that. That was the only thing that was kind of tough O-line wise, just because I don't know what's in front of me when I'm turning my head back. And but once I got in there, I realized that they were communicating who was in front of me and stuff like that. So it really wasn't as hard as I expected it to be.
And along the lines of communication, in what ways, obviously you've already had some starting experience in your career, but when you're playing alongside a guy like Rob Havenstein, how much of a help is he from a communication standpoint and otherwise?
Oh man, he might call out the whole play. He might tell me what to do just because, he might have seen something in my eye that might have looked like I was kind of questioning something, and it's a smart investment to tell me what the play is than to let me just, run free and not touch anybody.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Jordan?
Hey, Kevin, just a quick follow-up on Gary's question about the range of emotions you experienced throughout the game and the whole team experienced throughout the game. But when you guys are going from sort of a sudden change where you're like in a 2-minute at the end of the game and everything's moving really fast, and then you go into overtime and there's a steadiness, a balance, you guys are running the ball, you're extending this drive because you have the time in overtime. How do you guys as an offensive line settle into that latter part, settling into what is going to be kind of a grinded out overtime experience?
I believe that we just have belief in the people around us. Definitely quarterback wise, we know give him time, he's going to give us some points. So we base ourselves off of that. We know we have a good running back. We know we've been running to get the ball all game. We have good wide receivers. So we know if we hold our part up, they can hold their part up.